It's a seminar, first day, the elements of structure. It sounds mechanical and logistic already, and it is. At your leisure, take a look at the introduction. It basically talks about the relationship of structure and passion and how we get bogged down as authors when we're trying to deal with a passionate process, and we are forced to look into the structural side of it. So when we're looking to the structural aspects, it actually hobbles the muse. When we have to deal with structure, it forces us to move away from why we were attracted to our stories in the first place. As I mentioned, nobody in his right mind sits down to write the great American structure. Authors and audiences and readers come to a work, a story, for passions, not logistics. The author comes to express his or hers, and the reader or audience comes to ignite their own. Most people live rather, I won't say mundane lives, but they don't go over the top in their feelings and emotions on a day-to-day basis. And emotions need exercise. They crave to be taken out, given a walk around the block. Emotions need to express themselves, but in our daily lives we don't find much of a chance to do so unless we get in a fight with our mate, okay, or yell at our kids or something. That's about the extent that we have. Movies, books, stage plays, television, they give us an opportunity to feel things that we don't feel in everyday life, and to take those atrophying emotions otherwise that would be shriveling away within us and give them some life, let them out, let them express things. So authors have to go kind of over the top. If you ever noticed with singers in a studio, if you've seen them recording, they'll go through all these gyrations and they'll make all these facial expressions and things that anybody walking down the street would be taken away by the men in the white coats if they acted like that. But they're doing it because it helps them evoke all of this material out of themselves with a really passionate way that's way over the top. If you ever listen to music on the radio and concentrate on just how ridiculous, how overblown the sounds these people are making in music, it's just, you think about it and it's really kind of insane. But we don't notice it when we're listening to it because it is what's necessary to break through that barrier and get us started. Okay. Tomorrow we'll have a little more to talk about our own barriers as authors and breaking through those so we can tap into that emotion and put enough energy into it that it can take people who need a jump start and get them going, okay? We'll talk about how to tap into that, but know that structure is not the king. Structure is a guideline. Structure you can break. Structure you can bend. You can do that anytime you want because if the passion is strong enough to carry people through, they're there for the passion. And if there's a little error in structure, people won't even notice it if the passion washes over them and carries them past it. The only time you have to deal with structure, the only time it's valuable is when it is so badly warped or broken that it screws up your transmission of your passion. Because structure is like a carrier wave in radio or television. It's the signal on which all of the passion is carried, all of the subject matter, all of the outlooks and perspectives and information you want to get across is on this carrier wave called structure. If it's in tune, if it's done properly, it's tuned out by the mind. It's gone and all you see is the subject matter and you get the full message and you put on the mindset that the author has created for you as if you were putting on a helmet. And then the author, the audience, or the reader, they're going to sit there and experience what you want them to feel, see things from the perspective you want them to consider, and you'll never notice the structure. But if it's a little bit out of tune here and there, you'll start to get some static, the equivalent of static. And it will interfere with the reception of your message, of your material. And if it's too far out of tune, parts of the programming can drop out. And if that happens too often, then the audience loses their quote-unquote suspension of disbelief, as they say, where the audience forgets about real reality and gets absorbed into the movie or the book or the stage play. They believe they're actually there, they become part of it, they forget that they're a person watching something and they become involved. That's going to be broken if the signal is too far out of tune. So the purpose of structure is really to tune up the underpinnings of your story so that that doesn't happen. And as long as that's accomplished, you need carry structure no further than that, okay, ever. So, although everybody talks about Dramatica and how structural it is, and I'm the co-creator of Dramatica, I have to tell you, structure is only worth something when you notice that it's going wrong. When it's not going wrong, forget structure. If it works, don't fix it, okay? And even if it's a little broken, if you increase your passion, you can gloss it over, so you don't have to fix everything. Don't feel bound by it.